Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to the first edition of the Checkered Flag. We'll have GT Jones in later for an interview. We're gonna start off with our current events segment where we talk about just the current events in NASCAR right now. So for current events, we had the Pro Invitational Series at Dover this week, and that was won by the number 24 William Byron. What have you thought about the Pro Invitational Series so far, KD?
Well, I watched the first few races, but I haven't watched the last couple because I'm really burnt out of iRacing. It's so I don't know, it's just gotten boring, I think. But I'm
It
gonna
is
watch this week.
it is kind of played out.
North Wilkesboro, but
A lot of different series have been using it, and NBC kind of ruined the whole thing with Rick Allen,
yeah, Rick
and
Allen ruined it.
he made Pac-Man noises.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He was like waka 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 waka. That was so weird. Imagine being like Steve
Yeah,
Letarte in that situation.
it's so awkward. Yeah,
And they had
but
like Rick Allen on his like iPhone 4 earbuds yelling, and it sounded
yeah,
awful. NBC was
yeah,
really doing
but
a bad job.
no surprise that William Byron won.
No,
The
I'm
king of
not.
iRacing.
He is really good. He learned how to race on a computer, as
See
of
if he
course
wins
Rick
in real
Allen
life
said.
this year.
I think he will. Hendrick was strong for the first four races this season, but an interesting
He was
thing.
the worst out of all of them though.
Yeah, it is true.
Jimmy
But
Johnson was doing good, and so was Bowman.
and Elliott's the goat. And an
Yeah, nah.
interesting thing. Well, no, Gordon is. That's a different point. An interesting thing though is the final race of the Pro Invitational Series will be on North Wilkesboro, which Dale Jr. and
Saturday at
some
three.
odd time for it, but that's okay.
Yeah, pretty weird.
Yeah, but Dale Jr. and some volunteer Southern boys, they went out there and scanned that track. Uh, how do you think North Wilkesboro is going to look on iRacing?
I think it's gonna look pretty good, but I think it's a little overrated. It's a lot of nostalgia.
Hmm.
It's gonna be fun to watch though. It hasn't been run in real life in over 20 years, so
Yeah,
it'll be pretty cool,
I'd
I
prefer
guess.
Rockingham. I've always been a
Yeah,
big
I agree.
Rockingham guy. Rockingham always produced some good races. I always think that should come back to the Cup Series, but
At least the lower series, if it's gonna come back at
well,
all.
they were in the trucks like
For
4 or
two or
5
three
years
years,
ago.
and they
Yeah,
just scrapped it.
yeah, I don't know why. I was actually like, it's a great track.
Yeah,
Um, but forget the Pro Invitational Series. Real life NASCAR is returning to
13 days.
yeah, to Darlington first. They're gonna do 2 races at Darlington, then 2 at Charlotte as of now. And we're only 4 races in. Do you know who the points leader is so far, Katie?
Right by regular points, it's Ryan Blaney, but with wins, obviously, it's Logano with 2.
So Ryan Blaney is the points leader. How many wins do you think Ryan Blaney will have this season?
I'm gonna say 3 or 4.
3 or
I think he
4?
would have maybe could have gotten to 5 or 6 if the season didn't end and cut his hot streak. He could have won Daytona. He could have won what was the second race, Vegas, because he was there at the end leading. But then the yellow came out,
Hmm.
and then at Auto Club he was running second at the end, and then he had to pit with 4 to go because he had a tire going down. But yeah, I think he'll still win a few.
And with Joey Logano leading with the 2 wins so far, do you? It's an interesting thing about Joey Logano because he won a championship in a relatively down season for him, but it seems like the best seasons he has, he doesn't make the final 4
Yeah,
from
just like
circumstances.
2015.
Yeah, well, Gordon is the GOAT, so he made that. But do you think this is Logano's year maybe to get the second championship?
I think he might make the final 4, but I don't think he's gonna win the championship.
Hmm. All right, so NASCAR will return to Darlington first. In the last couple of years, we've seen that the driver of the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, has been really, really good there, and that's starting to become one of his best tracks. Is he the favorite?
I think Denny Hamlin, he's gonna do pretty good at Darlington, but that race is just gonna be chaos. I think, especially with Matt Kenseth's first lap on the new aero package being in a race, and all these people haven't driven in a few months, a month and a half, and I think it's gonna be pretty chaotic. But Denny Hamlin's gonna be up there.
And that is the next thing we're going to talk about. Matt Kenseth is back in NASCAR. So a lot of people have high expectations for Matt Kenseth. Some people have low expectations for Matt Kenseth. He really hasn't raced much on this new package, and he's coming into the 42. And these couple races that he's going to have here are going to be with relatively no practice because they're trying to cram everything in so they can get the full season
One-day
in.
events.
Hmm
Yeah.
So, how well do you think Matt Kenseth will do this season?
I think the first like 5 races back, a goal for him should be like a top 20. But I think once he gets in the groove, I think he might win a race. And I
Do
think
you,
he's gonna be, since he got his playoff waiver, I think he will make the playoffs. And there's a chance he could go as far as I think the round of 8, but I don't think he can make the championship 4.
well, I actually think Matt Kenseth's going to acclimate pretty well with it because he did race a similar package in the All-Star race at Charlotte 2
That's
years
true.
ago when they debuted that. And he was on pole for the All-Star race, but the All-Star race qualifying is a little wacky.
Yeah, with like
So
pit stop in the middle of it.
yeah, but still, it showed that he has experience, somewhat of experience with it, and it's gonna be everybody's gonna be a little
Limited
bit rusty
experience.
because they haven't been racing that much, and I bet that Ganassi probably has Matt Kenseth on the simulator right now, trying to work with the new package and help him
Mm-hmm.
get better. Um, but I see him with about maybe one win and a good like a 15 or 17 so top tens, and he'll make the playoffs. Let's say he'll be out at the round of 12. But I think he'll do about as good as Kyle Larson did, maybe a little worse, because I think Kyle Larson at this point is a little bit better than Matt Kenseth is. But Matt Kenseth is still an elite driver.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with the circumstances of Kyle Larson and the racial slur, he won't be back
Yeah,
this season, I don't think, or maybe even next season. But we will see
we'll
that.
see.
And you know, the most popular driver in NASCAR, of course, is Chase Elliott, and Chase Elliott might feed off the fans during the race weekend. Do you think that with NASCAR running without fans, it's going to be different, or is it going to be basically the same?
I think it's gonna be a little weird, especially to watch on TV, like with no one in the crowd and like no crowd noise at all. Like if something crazy happens, or like when Chase takes the lead, usually the crowd goes crazy. But
Hmm
yeah, the atmosphere is gonna be a little weird, but I think it'll be easy to get used to after a couple of races.
I mean, like it'll be basically like watching a truck race, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, that's just
Isn't
like
Yeah.
Daytona.
Well, yeah. But like it's like watching the
Big
truck race
fan
at
of that.
Pocono. No one's there. It's like
Yeah,
5 people there. So it actually doesn't make too much of a difference, I don't think. The only thing you'll notice is like the pre-race festivities will be toned down
there's not really
considerably.
gonna be much for the pre-race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
that's what
probably
I
won't even have a pre-race. Like maybe when they come on the air, pace laps might already be on.
yeah. Well, they
'Cause,
probably
like
will
there's nothing they can
talk about stuff and have Michael Waltrip do something stupid.
probably some
Um,
like grid walk with like a mask on or something dumb.
pour another
Or just
taco
like
on Denny's car. I feel like Michael Waltrip will
yeah,
not be properly practicing social distancing, though.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like he does not follow the laws. You know,
Probably
one
not.
one one former NASCAR driver that's a real rebel on Twitter is Kenny Wallace. I don't know if you
Oh
follow
yeah,
him
I
on
follow
Twitter,
him.
but
I do. I
he is
do. He
angry
is a
about
rebel.
everything.
He is.
Yeah, he's like
It's funny
anti-social.
though.
It is pretty funny, but he's like
He still
anti-social.
races on. He still like
Yeah,
races on like dirt
he was
tracks.
in like North Dakota last week taking selfies with kids.
And
Yeah.
he will.
I remember he did like the NASCAR '05 lightning
Yeah,
challenges.
yeah, yeah. I was playing Thunder 2004 this morning,
Michael
and for
Waltrip.
every race he qualifies in like the top
Oh, I
five.
swear to God, he's like
And
fifth every race, and he
he,
finished like
no, here's
30th.
the thing. So
Yeah,
I'm doing a Michael Waltrip season mode,
right.
and it was Martinsville, and Kenny Wallace qualified third, right?
Yeah, he always qualifies top five.
I qualified like 25th, right? On lap like 3, I'm in like 18th. And that's Kenny Wallace in 16th already in
Yeah,
3 laps.
he falls
Qualified
back so
third.
fast, and
And then
like
number 23,
in that Stacker 2
Thacker
car.
2
Yeah,
Dodge.
yellow and
Yep.
orange. And like
Yep.
I swear to God, Matt Kenseth always starts like 38th and finishes like 10th. Every race Matt Kenseth
Yeah.
starts in the back. It's so wonky. And yeah, Kenny Wallace is always in the top 10 starting. It's sort of like the fantasy drivers once they get in there. They always start
Once
like
they get in a
12th.
good ride.
They always start like 12th and they finish like
Okay,
40th.
so I don't know if you know, but on Thunder 2004, if you DNF out of a race, the whole lead lap is randomized, and that's to like the finishing order.
Really?
And yeah, so at the same Martinsville race, I DNF'd out of it because like I'm terrible there without assists on. And Brett Bodine finished second.
That's awesome. Brett Bodine.
I think
Wow,
Jimmy
the
Johnson
Hooters
won.
car.
No, wait, no,
Yeah.
Harvick won.
Yeah, I'm on NASCAR 2004 though also because, there's not much else to do right now and
Yeah.
what's his face? Bill Elliott got replaced by Kevin Grubb.
Wow.
Yeah, Kevin Grubb finishes like 37th every race in the 9 car, and I of course am racing as Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, the
Are you
GOAT.
doing season mode or career?
I'm in season.
I like season mode better
I
too.
do
It's
too.
easier to like start up.
Because career, you have to like. I only
The
can win the
grind.
super speedways. Because I take 2
Yeah, I don't feel like
tires.
running 38th for a whole season.
Yeah. I mean, I might do it if I get bored of season mode when I get to like
I've done them before.
2017. Yeah, I have too. I could only win super speedways, and I'd win all 4 of them. Finish
Yeah,
like
and the
25th
road
on
courses are
points.
pretty easy too.
Yeah, they are. Martinsville's hard though. But you can like glitch the game where you wreck everybody. Like you can like spin somebody out at one spot, and if they go on like fire, then like everybody will start slamming into them, and like the whole field like it's stacked up. It's so funny. All right, so next we will be talking about the Phoenix race for the National Series this weekend. The Truck Series was off this weekend, and Monster Toe put on an absolute clinic at Phoenix. He led most of the race, qualified first, was about a tenth faster than the field in qualifying. Would you say Monster Toe's the favorite right now, Katie?
What, for the title?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really been watching as many of the National Series races,
Hmm.
but from the ones I've seen, he's been pretty strong. So I haven't watched enough to really pick a favorite fairly. But if I had to say anybody, obviously it'd be Sports because he's coming back to the National Series.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think Monster Toe is probably going to be into the Final Four.
we will discuss sports a little bit later on in the show. But there is a big 3 developing right now. All these guys have multiple wins. Ryan, I believe, has 2. Trainer is sitting with 4. Monster Toe, I believe, has 2 as
Wow,
well.
Trainer has 4.
Yeah. Do you think the big 3 is solidified, as we call them the massive 3? Because big 3 is outplayed as well because Rick Allen shoved it down our throats.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so we call them the massive 3. But do you
Yeah, I
got?
think
Yeah.
they seem like the big 3, and with obviously Sports, I think the Final Four looks pretty clear right now
Hmm.
if nothing changes.
And Predator, the regular season champion last year, Derek Jewett, he has had a bit of a rough start to his season. What do you think's going on? Do you think it's something with the game or the competition maybe moving up?
I haven't really watched that much, like I said, but I mean, I think there's like some better. I think the people in the National Series have gotten better. Like I think Trainer got a lot better, and Ryan's getting better. Now Monster Toe just joined the league, and there's people now. Sports obviously coming down is gonna be a factor for him. So I think it's just more competition.
Hmm. Yeah, we both watched the National Series race last year, the Busch National Series Championship. We were on commentary for that. If you haven't seen
Yeah,
that,
I
go
remember
watch
that.
it. It was a great race. 4 really strong competitors, and 3 of them are now in the Cup Series. 2 of those are winners, and Weasel's had a pretty strong season so far. Um, and Predator was the 4th one, but basically everybody thought he was a shoo-in for the Final Four. But I personally think he can turn some stuff around and maybe sneak in there. I don't know who he would take out because the top 4 is pretty solidified right now. But I think he could sneak in there and maybe give it a go in the Final Four and in this national season. So, we mentioned earlier Clayton Cravens, who drove the 88 car. He was the 2018 Cup Series champion. He is now moving down to the Busch National Series for logistical reasons. How dominant do you think he's going to be?
I think he's gonna be pretty dominant, but I think Ryan has the edge over the competition versus him because obviously he was his spotter in the Cup
Hmm.
Series and
I
he
agree.
works with them a lot. So I think he will have the edge over his fellow National Series regulars.
Yeah, so
Other than sports, obviously.
Sports will be taking over the 7 car, I believe, which actually,
Yeah.
fun fact, is what he was originally supposed to drive in the league in 2018, but he got moved up to the Cup Series right before the season started. Fun fact. Um, but Sports has gotten a lot of wins in the Cup Series, but do you think he's as fast as he used to be, or is he leveled down a little bit? Because he has 2 wins in the Cup Series this year, which you can't discredit at all. But he was clearly the fastest guy in the league before. Is he still that?
I think if he was still full time in Cup, I think he's top 3 still for
Hmm.
sure. So I think yeah, he hasn't really fallen off much that I've seen.
Hmm.
I mean, the couple of races this year he was not running top 3 or 4, but he was still up there. So I think
Yeah.
I think he's still really good.
Hmm. All right, so now we'll move to the Cup Series race at Richmond Raceway, and that was
Mm.
won by the number 10 car, Tegan Jones, who we'll have later on for an interview today. He had a really strong run. He only came on in the later part of the race, but do you think this is a momentum gainer for the 10 team?
Yeah, I mean, winning a race is always gonna push. It's just gonna help you, and like you're gonna feel like more comfortable once you get that first win out of there. You don't have to worry about that anymore, and takes a lot of pressure off. You know.
And we will, of course, talk to him later on in the show, so we will get through that discussion. And KD, you had
Yeah.
a great race today, or yesterday, I mean. And
Yeah.
it just didn't work out at the end. You lagged out, but you did, I believe you won both stages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had a really dominant performance, and it looked like there's not many people that could have touched you out there. What happened last night?
Well, I mean, the car, it was great. I don't know, everyone was talking about their car getting loose in like late in the runs, and mine was still handling great. I didn't have to let off at all and exiting the corners and stuff. I think if I didn't lag out, I think I easily win. No offense to the 10, but yeah, it's still cool. I'm still glad SHR guy got it done though.
Hmm.
At least that happened.
Yeah, that was a good win for you, KD. And we did have some feuds boil over at
Yeah, we
the
did.
race at Richmond.
Yeah, Mike and Austin
Yeah,
had some stuff going on.
we don't really agree on what happened. I see it one way, and I think I see it the right way. I'm pretty sure he sees it another way. That's fine. I personally am not going to carry it over into Texas. I can't say the same for him. Um, but we will see. I think he was a bit excessive, but it's done to me. If he hits me again, though, it might not be done. Uh, I still finished higher than him. I got seventh place finish, which in a pretty rough season for me so far is my best finish. So yeah, everything's looking up. I'm really good at Texas. So I'm excited for that. Just hoping that I can get the 4 car back close to Victory Land again, because really hasn't been there in a while, and I haven't been there since last Michigan. So just looking forward to that.
Yeah, you should do pretty good at Texas. You did pretty good last. Did you race the fall race last year?
I believe I did. I was top
I
10
think
in
you were
both of
up
them, I
there.
think.
I
Yeah.
remember.
So, speaking of Texas, the Busch National Series and the Craftsman Truck Series will both have it off this week. Uh, Last season, there was the clear best driver at Texas, Smoke Zima, Gavin Gomez. He swept the Texas races last season. Do you think he's the guy to beat?
I think he'll definitely be in the top two best drivers there, and I think he's gonna have a really good race.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if he's gonna
personally,
win. If I have
yeah,
something to say about it.
yeah. Well, I hope you win too. Personally, I think that he's definitely strong, and he shows that um, Texas is a good track for him. He had how many wins did he have last year? A lot, and 2 of them were,
Yeah,
of
he had
course, at
9.
Texas. Yeah, so 2 out of his 9 wins were at one track. So that shows Texas is probably a strong suit for him. Of course, 2018, the first season, uh, SGT Bloodspat and Slade won. Both of them are not in the league anymore, and I believe in the year before that, Remix won at Texas, and uh, he's around, but he's not around.
Yeah.
So if we see him, maybe he'll look to get his 2017 win back. I would have won one of the 2018 ones, but there's a long story about that. Well, I'll talk about it. There was like a
I don't know
wreck.
the story.
Yeah, no, there was like a wreck near the end. I had pit strategy on like a million, which is how I win
Yeah.
if I have to win. Um, so I was gonna win, then like somebody like milked the spin out and they got a caution, so I lost the race. But I still finished third, so that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
looking
good.
for a top 5 this week, hopefully. Um,
Yep.
so now it is time to welcome Tegan Jones into the show. Tegan, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go back to last season. I did call you a B minus driver because I was
Oh yeah, I
frustrated with
remember
you after
that.
Bristol. Yeah, it was a rough time, the past. But
Now he drives for you.
yeah,
You guys made it.
everything comes full circle. Now you, of course, are the National Series champion last season. What led to that last year?
Uh, just spent like the whole week at Homestead just working on a setup. I had a little bit of help with EdFire, just being there to have open lobbies with me, so I wouldn't have to practice offline. So really worked on tire wear on that track. That's what it came down to, and that's how I beat Weasel last year. So
The real question is, why did you keep trying to pass me at Bristol?
Here we go.
because I figured you keep holding me up.
Yeah, but I was fast. If you kept trying to pass me, we would have
I was
gotten to
in that
them.
race. I don't remember
think
you
you was
guys getting
fast
into it.
enough. Well, we
It
didn't
That was
was,
the
get into it.
only
Just raced them
national
hard.
series start I made last year.
yeah, it was like at the end. We didn't even touch. He kept like going
No,
low.
I'd go low and he'd go high. I thought I had a faster car than you at the time. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you didn't leave me, so
yeah. That's the past. We finished third and fourth. It's
Mike, you
okay.
should find the video clip and put it in the podcast.
I mean, if I
It's,
can
it's
figure
still
that
on
out,
there.
it is. If I can figure that out, I would be happy to. But Share
I
Factory.
think I might have had it. I don't know. I'll have to go
Oh,
back and look myself.
okay. Well,
On the
we
channel
will
still.
see. Yeah, it is. I'll check it out. Hopefully, Share Factory doesn't crap out tonight. Um,
Yeah.
so, of course, GT, you began the season signing with Kyle and Chip Ganassi, and you drove the one car. What was that like for the beginning of the season?
It was pretty good. I mean, you go to Daytona. I won the Open for the Clash, so that was pretty cool. And we worked good together during the Daytona race. But when you go into a restrictor plate race in this league, it's you against HMS and
And their
their
alliances.
their
Yeah.
posse, I guess you can call them,
Hmm.
what you want to call them. And they don't work with nobody but themselves, which is fine, I guess. But it just kind of, and at the time I didn't have nobody to work with, but just me and Kyle, so that kind of hurt us. So then I had to start wheeling and dealing. So then I kind of worked that deal with Stuart Haas and Gibbs, and didn't work out for that first race, but I think it kind of worked out at Talladega later, so that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
we did work well at Talladega, which was a bit of foreshadowing for what happened after Talladega. And so, of course, after the big move, S'mores asking for his release, he went to the 88 car. You asked for your release from Chip Ganassi to move to the 10 car to replace S'mores. What led to that move, you think?
Well, I mean, I like having teammates, and I like driving for Stuart Haas, so obviously I'm a Kevin Harvick fan. I mean,
Hmm.
you know that. I try to talk you out of the 4 car when
Yeah.
when you offered it to me, so.
Yeah. And you thought I was a Kyle Busch fan. That was offensive.
Yeah. I don't know, you just figured that you sound like the type that would be.
What does that
I
mean? What kind of
guess.
type is that?
I don't know, you can be a smartass sometimes, and usually,
Yeah,
smartasses like the smartasses, so.
I hate him. I met him, though.
I hate him too.
His wife is hotter in person. I saw her, too. Um, But I met Kyle in like 2012, and a funny story about that was like, they had
What
like
track was that at?
no, we had like our automobile museum in Saratoga, which is where my grandparents live. So like they had a bunch of things like they had NASCAR. It was like a big NASCAR exhibit that year in the showroom there, and like they had cars
Yeah.
everywhere, and they had certain people come in and do like Q&As or whatever. So they had like Bobby Allison, Richard Childress, Ron Hornaday, and the last one was Kyle Busch. So the funny thing is, like 2012
Oh,
is
Ron Hornaday and Kyle Busch together. Like that's
that
1 year
And
that
after they.
Childress.
that was funny because they asked Ron Hornaday about it and they didn't ask Kyle Busch about it. That was
Wow.
funny because it was two different times though. So
Yeah.
like they had like every month or whatever over the summer. So like it was like October and it was or September and it was right after the chase happened and this is the one year Kyle Busch like didn't make the playoffs for like the first year in like a while that he didn't make it and he's made it every year since.
It was
So
only
he
like a couple weeks after the Glen where he got like turned.
he was mad. It was the week after the playoffs, so it was the week after Richmond. So I it's funny because I meet him right, and I'm a massive
Yeah.
Gordon fan at this point, and Jeff Gordon beat him to make the playoffs by 1 point. So I come in to
Yeah.
meet Kyle Busch like in my full out like Gordon outfit, like I have a Gordon jacket, my Gordon
Oh,
hat
that
on,
probably
like
messed with them.
yeah, he was chill about it though, so that was kind of funny. And like some Southern dude was like, "Man, you got balls to wear that around here," and I was like, I'm like 10. Because I wasn't that old.
Right.
Yeah. So, Tegan, of course, you got your first Cup win at Richmond. What led to that, and what did that feel like?
Felt pretty good. I mean, I had a top three car all night. Obviously, I think maybe even a second place car.
Hmm.
If we ever, on the long runs, I think Weasel would get really loose. I mean, we were both loose, but then like the last 10 laps of the run, he was all really loose. And that last run, in the third stage, we kind of kept up with KD a little bit, but I think KD was just doing enough just to stay in front of us, not to wear his tires out any more than he had to. And then we had pit stops, and my thing is I just wanted to go the longest I can because I was waiting on a caution to happen because we had two people out there that was kind of PO'd at one another. So we had a
And,
couple people out there that was just like moving darts with feathers. So
I was getting
I was waiting
moved.
on a caution. I was going to try to trap everybody at least a lap or maybe two down, and still have the freshest tires. And I guess luck kind of worked out on me. As soon as Weasel pitted and I heard him, you know, as soon as he hit pit road, I knew he was sped because you can hear it in his voice.
Yeah. You're
And
like, my
then
race
I'm
is over.
like, yeah, yeah, he said that, and then I'm like, well, that's second place. Now, if I get some fresh tires on KD, I'll be all right. And then, before I even pit, KD lagged out, and I'm like, well, hell, race just came to me. I can stay out as long as I want now and still have the freshest tires at the end of the run. So I got down to like two to go, decided to pit, and I'm glad I did because I literally came back out just a half a second in front of the 8 car, and I was pulling away from him. I was backing my corners up, taking it easy on the tires, not wearing them out because I still have fresher tires. And then I get up behind a lap car that kind of holds me up. He's going 3 wide, with himself like Kyle Busch does. So that kind of caught him back up to me and got him on the inside of me, and then kind of door checked me just I guess to see what I'd do. Then I had to pull away from him again. And I gotta thank KD for lagging out because I wouldn't have won that big if it wasn't for that.
You're welcome. Might need to return the
Well,
favor one day.
yeah. Well, I don't know about lagging out. I might push you to a win, but I
Hey, you
think
guys
you've
had
Alright.
got plenty coming. I think you've got plenty coming. I think you can hand me a bone.
yeah.
Yeah.
I, I think you guys
And
will both
I
end up
feel
with
bad for
multiple wins.
Kevron too. So
I
I
do
think
too.
I kind of forced him out when I sent him a message on PlayStation and he hit the wrong button. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I kind
Yeah.
of felt bad for that. I did apologize to him after the race.
All right, so some will look at you as like an underdog heading into the season, Tegan. You came out with a win, and you're basically locked in the playoffs right now, unless we get more than 10 winners and some things shake out like crazy. But what do you see your future in this Cup season being, and what are your expectations?
Uh, I'm here to stay. I mean, as long as it's still fun, there's no BS, and I mean, let's face it, there is some BS just about every other week. So, you know, I'm pretty sure I was brought in the Cup. Somebody I think wanted me to give me one of the rides at their team, and now we don't even talk. So it's just like we can't get along no matter what. I mean, we barely got along last season, and he was my owner, so it just seems like everybody keeps flip flopping. I guess on me on being a B driver. I guess that's okay. I just go out there and prove them everyone wrong.
You're an A driver now, man, and you're mine. You're my A driver.
I'm
Yeah.
your ass.
I'm like an F driver at this point, so.
You
Well,
got seventh.
yeah, seventh. I could have had sixth, but I carried away, or I did literally get carried into the wall. Um, but anyway, thank you for joining us, Tegan, and congratulations on your first Cup win. And
Thanks, guys.
yep, Brett, thank you for joining me as well tonight. I appreciate
Yep.
you, and I think we did a pretty good job for the first podcast ever. Um,
Yep.
so hopefully this is good. Hopefully you guys like it, and we'll be back for more next week. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye.